Imagine driving a car, right? You were looking at your GPS navigation screen.
Yeah, like normal.
Like normal.
All car.
But as you were driving, the roads on the map are literally erasing themselves.
Oh, wow.
They're just being redrawn right in front of your eyes. The traditional highways you have relied on for years are vanishing. And they're being replaced by entirely new transit systems that you don't even have a license to operate on yet.
That is a terrifying visual, honestly.
It is. But that is exactly what has happened to internet search over the last year. Welcome to the Deep Dive on July 20, 2026. The search landscape has undergone a tectonic shift, and our entire focus is deciphering that new reality for you.
Yeah, the era of navigating a web of 10 blue links is effectively over. We are firmly entrenched in the age of synthesized answers.
Right.
Discovery happens entirely through the computational lens of artificial intelligence now. So if you are operating a business, a publication, or a brand, the old maps are actively misleading you.
Which brings us to our source material, the comprehensive SEO Daily Technology Report published on July 20, 2026.
An incredibly detailed report.
Very detailed, and our mission here is critical. We want to help you cut through the absolute noise of the industry and understand exactly how to make your content visible in a world where AI engines do the searching on your behalf. Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
Starting with the sheer undeniable scale of Google's AI dominance. I mean, the numbers in this report from July 20, 2026 are staggering. Google AI overviews are serving 2.5 billion users monthly.
2.5 billion people. That fundamentally reshapes what organic search even means. I mean, AI overviews are no longer an experimental feature.
Right, they aren't some opt-in beta test for early adopters.
Exactly. It is the default primary lens through which a massive portion of humanity accesses information. And when a system reaches that scale, well, it forces the entire digital economy to adapt to its preferences.
But for the longest time, creators and brands were flying totally blind. We knew these AI overviews were swallowing up traffic, but we just couldn't measure the impact.
We really couldn't. It was incredibly frustrating for site owners.
But the report highlights a massive milestone. Back on June 3, 2026, Google officially launched Generative AI Performance Reports inside Search Console.
Finally.
Yeah, finally. This gave us the very first native measurement of AI overviews and AI mode impressions.
And the granularity of that update is what changes the game for site owners. We are talking about concrete data broken down by impressions, specific pages, countries, devices.
Ranging from hourly to monthly timelines, right?
Right. Prior to June 3, brands had to infer this data using third-party scrapers, which was essentially educated guesswork.
It was a mess.
A total mess. Now, webmasters have direct visibility into how their content performs in these AI-generated spaces natively.
They also introduced an opt-out toggle, which went effective on June 17.
Right?
It allows you to remove your content from AI features without hurting your traditional organic rankings.
Yeah, the June 17 toggle.
It sounds like taking your book out of the bookstore's front window display, but demanding it stays on the shelf in the back. I mean, why would any creator want to opt out of a 2.5 billion user surface?
Well, it comes down to control for highly specialized publishers. Enterprise data providers, legal databases, or medical journals.
Okay, the big data players.
Exactly. They simply do not want their proprietary paywall data scraped, ingested, and synthesized by a large language model or LLM without compensation.
That makes sense.
Yeah, the toggle gives them an escape hatch. But for the vast majority of creators, local businesses, and media brands trying to be discovered, opting out is digital suicide.
Which brings me to a major point of confusion on this new Search Console report. It only shows impressions. It does not show clicks.
Right, just impressions.
So if Search Console only provides data on impressions, aren't we just measuring vanity metrics? How much does an AI impression actually matter if the user gets their answer directly on the Google interface and never bothers to click through to the website?
What's fascinating here is that the definition of a digital impression has fundamentally changed. In the legacy search model, an impression without a click was a failure.
Right, meant a user saw your link in a list and just scrolled right past it.
Exactly. But in an AI overview, an impression means your brand was explicitly cited by the machine as the authoritative source of the synthesized answer.
Okay, so it's a completely different context.
Entirely different. It democratizes visibility because that impression builds massive brand authority. Even without a direct click, the user visually registers that your company provided the verified data to the AI. In this landscape, zero-click search value equates to real brand equity.
It's like being quoted as a source in the New York Times. You don't necessarily need the reader to click a link to your website to benefit from the credibility of being the cited expert.
That is a perfect way to look at it. Google is explicitly saying that earning that cited in AI status is the new ranking #1.
And they even formalize this, stating that generative engine optimization, or GEO, is really just foundational SEO applied to AI. They narrowed it down to 5 reliable content types that algorithms actively look for to justify a citation. It's original research, expert analysis, first-hand experience, unique data, and proprietary perspective.
Notice what is conspicuously absent from that list, though.
Generic summary content.
Exactly. Generic regurgitated summary content. To be cited by an LLM, you have to bring net new information to the table. LLMs are predictive text engines. They already know the consensus view on any given topic.
Right, they've already read everything.
Right. So if you don't have unique data or a proprietary perspective, the AI has absolutely no mathematical reason to cite you over Wikipedia or a legacy competitor.
Wow. Okay, so Google giving us native metrics is a huge step.
Yeah.
But as the data in the July 2026 report clearly shows, Google is no longer the only discovery platform that matters.
Not at all.
We are living in a multi-engine ecosystem, and it is driving some highly unexpected user behaviors.
It is a totally fractured landscape now. Traditional SEOs who only know how to optimize for a single algorithm are really struggling.
Yeah, the Semrush AI Visibility Index illustrates this perfectly. They expanded it to analyze 126 million U.S. search prompts between January and April of 2026.
A massive data set.
Huge. They track visibility across ChatGPT, Gemini, Google AI Overviews, and Perplexity. And out of all those millions of prompts, only 36 brands rank in the top 100 across all 4 platforms.
36.
Just 36. That shows how incredibly difficult it is to maintain consistent visibility. If you are only optimizing for Google, you are entirely missing half of the discovery ecosystem.
Well, the core issue is that each platform citation algorithm is prioritizing entirely different signals.
Like with Claude and Perplexity.
Yeah, take Claude, which quietly overtook Perplexity back in March 2026. Claude's rise was largely driven by enterprise adoption. Companies are using it to parse complex internal documents, so its consumer-facing search emphasizes nuanced, well-reasoned, long-form content.
And Perplexity went the other way.
Right. Perplexity saw a 61% drop from its peak because it functions strictly as a consumer research tool. It heavily prioritizes highly recent, authoritative sources with clear, academic-style citations.
Meanwhile, ChatGPT favors conversational depth and established brand signals. Speaking of ChatGPT, the pre-visible study analyzing 6.77 million LLM sessions is just mind-blowing.
It really is. The sheer volume.
ChatGPT commands 92.4% of all standalone AI referral traffic. The volume is exploding. But
there's a catch.
Here's where it gets really interesting. ChatGPT is sending 28.8% of its referrals not to the specific page that answers the user's query, but to the website's internal search results pages.
Yeah, the internal search rep. This is a massive operational blind spot.
Wait, why is it doing that?
Well, nearly 30% of the time, the AI model calculates that your domain holds the correct answer. It knows you have the information,
Okay.
but it struggles to pinpoint the exact URL structure of that specific page. When an LLM cannot map the exact routing, it formulates a query string and defaults to pinging your site's internal search box.
It's like ChatGPT is a cab driver who knows the right neighborhood, like they know your domain. But they just drop you off at the community information kiosk, your internal search box, instead of taking you to the exact house you asked for.
That is the exact mechanism at play. And if you are operating a website in 2026, internal site search is no longer just a housekeeping feature.
Or an afterthought for lost visitors.
Exactly. It is a vital frontline acquisition surface. If a user is dropped off at your internal search page by ChatGPT and that page is clunky, yields irrelevant results, or loads slowly, that massive influx of highly qualified AI traffic is going to bounce instantly.
That is wild. We spend all this time trying to rank on the external engine, only to realize we have to optimize our internal engine just to catch the traffic.
It is a totally different way of thinking about site architecture.
So if ChatGPT is struggling to find the exact house on your website, you obviously need to provide better directions. How do we build digital sign that these AI models can actually read? That brings us to EET and schema markup.
Right. AI models are essentially parsing the internet to calculate confidence scores. If we want them to navigate our sites accurately and cite our information, we have to feed them the right signals. The July 2026 report emphasizes that EEAT experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness are no longer just soft Google guidelines.
There are actual rules now.
They are hard, quantifiable ranking signals across all engines, especially for topics concerning health, finance, or safety.
And the data shows AI overviews are aggressively rewarding established brand content over lesser-known pages. Even if the lesser-known page have perfect on-page optimization, AI relies heavily on off-site signals to build that confidence score. We are talking digital PR, industry citations, expert bylines on other authority sites.
Yeah, the Moz 2026 Experts Survey phrased it perfectly. They said to optimize for resonance, not density.
Resonance, not density. I love that. Back-end SEO is now just as critical as front-end keyword placement. But I have to ask, if AI relies this heavily on off-site press mentions and established brand authority to verify expertise, isn't this essentially turning technical SEO into traditional 1990s public relations?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the disciplines of SEO and PR have entirely merged. You really cannot fake a digital footprint to a large language model that has literally ingested the entire internet.
It knows if you are actually famous or not.
Exactly. If you publish an article claiming to be an expert on a financial topic, but your brand name appears nowhere else in the ecosystem, no podcast interviews, no digital PR placements, no conference speaker bios, the AI calculates a low confidence score and will not cite you. Real-world brand building is now a technical requirement for visibility.
It isn't just about off-site PR, though. There is also the highly technical on-site side, entity SEO and structured data.
Yes, the code side of things.
The report highlights a massive resurgence in FAQ schemas using JSON-LD. We aren't doing this for traditional visual snippets on a results page anymore, right?
No, the visual snippets are mostly gone.
We're doing it because this format is highly extractable by an LLM.
AI models crave structured data. JSON-LD is essentially a piece of JavaScript code placed in the backend of a web page. It bypasses the visual layout of the site and feeds data directly to the bots in a clean, standardized format. Think of FAQs and entity schemas like pre-chewed food for large language models.
I have to stop you there. Pre-chewed food for LLMs is a gross but completely perfect visual.
I know, it's a bit graphic, but it accurately describes the computational process.
Yep.
When you use JSON-LD schema to explicitly define the entities on your page, stating in code exactly who the author is, what the organization does, and the precise question being answered, you remove the computational heavy lifting for the AI.
You don't force the model to parse your CSS and HTML to guess what the page is about.
Precisely. You make the content safe, easily parsed, and highly trusted for citation. If the AI has to guess, it will simply move on to a competitor who spooned us at the exact data points via schema.
Okay, so let's summarize this workload. We have to manage multi-engine citations across Google, ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity. We have to build off-site EEAT through constant digital PR. And we have to write incredibly complex JSON-LD entity schemas for every single page.
It's a lot.
This is way too much for a human to manage manually on a spreadsheet anymore. The scale is impossible.
It is entirely impossible for a human team to execute manually at scale. That is why the entire SEO software industry has pivoted dramatically toward AI and automation. Managing this fractured ecosystem requires a highly sophisticated AI-driven tech stack.
Let's break down this 2026 tech stack because it is a completely new ballgame. Semrush remains the dominant command center, but it's not just a dashboard of keywords anymore.
No, they've evolved massively.
They've integrated generative AI copilot features that actually interpret the raw data, suggest strategic actions, and automate the reporting. They're the ones with the computing power to run that 126 million prompt AI Visibility Index. And it's fascinating how the competitiveness varies by sector. Legacy brands have completely locked down news and media, but the finance and industrial sectors are strangely wide open for challengers who leverage these tools properly.
Yeah, Semrush operates as the macro-level command center, providing those broad visibility metrics. But for the micro-level, the actual technical health and backlink data RFs remains the gold standard.
Okay.
And what is crucial for our landscape on July 20, 2026, is that RFs updates its top domain index every 15 to 30 minutes.
Why does a 15-minute update matter so much more now than it did a few years ago?
Because of engines like Perplexity that prioritize extreme recency. If you earn a massive backlink or a PR mention, and a user queries an AI about your brand an hour later, that new citation needs to be indexed instantly for the AI to trust the connection.
Ah, so real-time data is essential.
Absolutely. RF's real-time crawling supports that. They've also rolled out AI insights that automatically identify link velocity anomalies and toxic patterns, which saves technical SEOs hundreds of hours of log file analysis.
Wow. And when it comes to actual content creation, Surfer SEO is bridging the gap. They use a proprietary content score that balances traditional SEO keyword optimization with the new AI citation requirements we talked about, like original data markers.
Yeah, they are a great bridge tool.
But all of these are just advanced tools. The biggest paradigm shift detailed in the report is the rise of agentic SEO.
This is the absolute frontier of the industry right now. We are moving from SEO as a manual, artisan craft to SEO as a semi-automated production pipeline managed by autonomous AI agents.
The mechanics of these agentic platforms are wild. AirOps is leading the pack with multi-modal workflows. They aren't just using one AI to write a post.
No, it's a whole chain of command.
You can set a workflow that uses GPT-4 to generate the structural outline, passes it to Claude 3.5 to handle the nuanced, logical writing, and then uses a smaller, faster model to format the exact JSON-LD schema we talked about earlier.
It is incredibly efficient.
Then you have Search Atlas, which tracks your visibility across these different AI models, though the report notes their tracking features are currently a bit buggy.
Still working out the kinks, yeah.
There is Koala AI, offering a unified workspace for the whole content lifecycle. And AirTop, which functions like a nervous system, sending you immediate push notifications when ranking signals drop instead of making you wait for a weekly PDF report.
It's all moving toward real-time automation.
But I have a major philosophical problem with this agentic SEO trend.
I imagine it has to do with the origin of the content itself.
Exactly. If we use AI agents, like AirOps or Koala, to write our content and dynamically structure our JSON-LD schemas, purely so that other AI agents from Google and ChatGPT can read it, parse it, and cite it, aren't we just creating a digital snake eating its own tail?
A closed loop.
Yeah, it is an ecosystem of AI writing synthetic data for AI to consume. Where does human creativity or actual groundbreaking insight even fit into this closed loop?
That is the defining anxiety of the industry as of July 2026. And the source report thoroughly validates this exact concern.
It does.
It does. While automation is incredible at scaling production and handling the technical formatting of JSON-LD, the report emphasizes that human oversight remains the single critical differentiator. If you just let your AI agents talk to the AI search engines without intervention, you end up with perfectly structured, mathematically average mediocrity.
Because an LLM can only predict what has already been said. It can't generate a truly original thought or a first-hand experience.
Precisely. Remember those 5 Google GEO requirements for citation?
Original research, expert analysis, first-hand experience, unique data, and proprietary perspective.
Right. Those elements cannot be generated by a predictive text agent. The human must provide the strategic direction, the contrarian opinion, and the original thought. The agentic tools simply act as the translation layer, taking your human insight and packaging it into the machine-readable format that the multi-engine ecosystem requires.
The human is the raw, organic ingredient, and the AI tools are just the highly efficient packaging plant.
Exactly.
So, what does this all mean? Let's wrap this up for you listening right now, trying to calibrate your strategy based on the realities of July 20, 2026. To survive in this fractured landscape, you must internalize that being cited in AI is the absolute apex of digital visibility.
Without a doubt.
You need to immediately audit your internal site search architecture to ensure you can seamlessly catch ChatGPT's quirky referral traffic without it bouncing. You have to step away from tweaking on-page text and actively build real-world brand authority through digital PR to satisfy those strict EEAT signals. You need to spoon-feed the engines with structured JSON-LD data, and you must utilize the right mix of agenting tools to manage this massive workload without sacrificing your unique human perspective.
That perfectly encapsulates the tactical reality of the landscape. But I want to leave you with a broader implication to consider, building on your concern about the digital snake eating its tail.
Okay, let's hear it.
If we connect all these technical dots, if AI discovery engines like ChatGPT and Google AI overviews are explicitly programmed to prioritize highly authoritative, widely cited, and structurally established legacy brands to fulfill these EEAT mandates, how will completely radical, new, or paradigm-shifting ideas from unknown creators ever get discovered?
Oh, wow. That is a staggering blind spot in the architecture.
It really is. If the algorithms only calculate high confidence scores for concepts that have already been validated by the mainstream press and existing entity databases, a brilliant but unknown thinker proposing a disruptive idea might never break through the computational noise. In our collective rush to ensure AI gives us the most trusted and safe synthesized answers, are we permanently cementing the status quo?
That is a heavy, lingering question to end on. It brings us right back to that GPS map metaphor. The map is rapidly redrawing itself, but maybe is only drawing roads to the destinations everyone has already visited.
Yeah.
We want to warmly thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning the landscape, keep experimenting with the tools, and we will see you next time.